Defiance Marine is the one-stop shop for the Pacific Northwest angler. Defiance Marine carries all the gear you'll need, from auxiliary kicker motors to fishing tackle, bait, and more. Defiance Marine is a Honda Premier dealership and one of the largest on the West Coast. Defiance Marine guarantees the best price on a new motor and the best service on a repower for your current boat. Defiance Marine has certified technicians, some of the best in the industry at evaluating your boat issues and any problems. Defiance Marine has boat financing experts on staff to help you get the best term and rates on your new boat purchase. If you need financing for a new boat, call or stop by and see them today. Defiance Marine is your one and only stop to help you get out on the water.
Cutbacks in funding and fewer law enforcement resources are affecting our businesses and communities. If your business is feeling the effects, Phoenix Protective may be the solution you are looking for. They offer security solutions customized to meet your needs. From remote video monitoring in their 24-hour control center to a proactive, experienced security professional on site, Phoenix Protective has over 20 years experience in ensuring the safety of their customers. Team members are highly trained and proactive, giving them the ability to adjust to the changing needs of their customers. Customers choose to work with Phoenix Protective because they provide the next level in security support to industries such as schools, hospitals, transit, and utilities. For a security assessment to see how Phoenix Protective can help you and your business, visit their website at www.phoenixprotectivecorps.com and select Contact.
If you're looking for the best fishing rods in the world, you really do need to take a look at the Edge rods. I designed and built new machinery, and I think this new machinery has enabled us to build blanks like no other company can build without this equipment. There is no other rods in the world that are as good as these rods. You owe it to yourself to take a good look at them.
We've got a ballistic solution app on my...
Tuna grounds are on the ocean, Tommy. We're going to do that. Don't go anywhere.
We've got all the great fish that make great fish and chips.
Hey, good evening and welcome to Fish on Northwest, Wayne England, and of course, the gentleman sitting to my immediate right needs no introduction. Back for a second week of punishment, I see.
Well, I wouldn't exactly call it punishment. This is a lot of fun.
This is a good time.
Yeah.
Bill Herzog. Bill Herzog joining me again, week 2, and Tommy's continual absence. I got a few things to say to him when he gets back.
I see.
Oh, I'll keep it rather short because he's a little bigger than me, so I just kind of move on past, right?
Do it behind a very thick pane of glass.
Yeah. Or a bodyguard stand next to me. So, how you been? How was your week?
My week, well, as you know, started out pretty good.
Not too shabby.
You know, not too shabby at all, because my diet lately, sir, has consisted of spring Chinook.
Yes, amino acids, oils, and, vitamins and minerals and things that you need out of those fish. And, since last week doing the show till this Thursday, 1 week's time, we've put a few springers on the table or in the freezer. So it's not been too shabby. We're going to get into all that a little bit later. We got some great springer discussion coming up. It's interesting. Everybody gets all amped up. March 1st rolls around. We're talking springers, Columbia, cold, miserable. You and I were down there. You got a dandy, by the way, the day we were out with Jared. But, it's a grind, cold weather. Not like the weather's warmed up a ton as of late, right? But we have had a few days of sunshine. But, man, I'm telling you, you just go, springer. This is the time of year that I get amped up for springers. The Columbia River thing is cool, and we'll kind of touch on that a bit. But as we move forward, the abundance of opportunity right now, we're going to talk about how much is going on out there and where to go. This is the time of year.
The most exciting part about what's going on right now is we're getting back way more fish than they predicted.
Correct.
That's always a good thing, and it makes the WDFW look amazing, by the way. We did that. But the ocean conditions have to be good. It's never a bad thing at all when the tributaries are popping like this and guys are all catching fish.
Right.
A lot of smiling people out there. A lot of smiling tackle manufacturers out there too.
Well,
it's good for everybody when this happens.
When all things are considered, price of fuel and everything, you make that commitment to go get it. You want to get a little something for your effort, right?
Absolutely.
So tons to talk about in that regard. Hopefully a handful of you have been out, testing the waters, getting after some of these springers. There's a lot going on. The weather is still a little chilly. The lakes are just barely starting to warm up. A little more activity. A few kokanee getting caught. We got a ton of stuff to cover tonight, Bill. And we're going to get to all that. But before we do, I want to remind everybody, hey, if you have not, please take some time. Jump on over to our webpage, www.fishhuntnw.com. Check out our online store. Get some fantastic looking swag as the General is wearing this evening. Tons of items on there, hats, the whole shebang. Do us a favor, jump on over there, order up your stuff. Jingling Jigs, we got a few orders come in as of late. Jordan's busy tying some Rufus wood packages and the whole deal. Got a lot of options on our webpage for you to enjoy. And just check out the content that's on the page. And oh, by the way, while you're there, make sure you click on the Edge Rods FHN20 coupon. You're going to get any edge rod that you can look at online via the website, perusing all their inventory. Every single rod, 24/7, 365, FHN20, you're going to get 20% off of that fishing rod at checkout. Every single rod they make through Fish Hunt Northwest. You click on the coupon, it takes you right to the Edge Rods website, and you can order them up right there, and they ship. So do a little perusing. This springer fishing, this bobber and egg fishing I've been doing with that new edge rod I have in hand. I put it out there last week, going so far 3 for 3 on that rod when I've been using it. Hands down, best bobber and egg rod I've ever fished. 10 to 20, 10.5 foot, just a phenomenal rod. So light, you'd think it's going to break. But they don't break, man. I'm telling you, these things are unbelievable what they're doing there at Edge. And if you're looking for a new float rod, check out those. It's a 1065, 10.5 foot, 10 to 20 rated. Fantastic bobber and egg rod. I will never fish another bobber and egg rod as long as I live.
There's one thing I will not fish ever again is something that's not your cure.
Oh, on the eggs.
I've seen you do this magic with when it's sockeye fishing with prawns.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
When I'm around all these other great anglers and I'm out fishing everybody, it's not what I'm doing, baby. Those things smell right, and I'm here to tell you, there were anglers where we were who fished the holes before we got there.
Yeah.
With your cure, we went in there and just
mopped it up.
What do you know? Cooler full right afterwards.
And we're going to delve into that.
You got to have the good stuff, baby.
Yes, we're going to talk about some bait preparation, some opportunities, some scent. Put out all that together. Our springers really that hard to catch. We're going to talk about that.
It's like anything though, Dwayne. Everything you got the right scent, the right presentation, depth, colors, speed. When it all comes together, ta-da! If you're doing one thing wrong, it's like we talk about kokanee fishing or anything. If you're doing one thing wrong, all your other preparation, everything else doesn't matter. It all has to come together. But when you have the very best bait cure on the planet that you're using, it does not hurt.
It does tend to work, and there's some things you can definitely do to up your game, and I will even spill out a little bit of that info tonight when we get into our springer discussion.
Please do.
Hey, before we get there, along the line of springers here, I want to go down a list of opportunities here. You think about springer fish, you go, oh man, it's so crowded, and gosh, everybody's showing up to one place. Not so fast. Winter steelhead has become that. If you get an opportunity and there's an opening for a month or a couple months or whatever.
Okay, I'm having a good time. Let's not go there.
Let's not go there, right? Springer fishing, if you look around, take advantage of what is out there, what's happening currently. There is a number of places to go. And spread out the masses, man. Not everybody has to show up at one little spot. And, one that opened up here on May 1st, Bill, Skagit opened up for springers.
Wow,
right? You got a 2-fish limit all the way through the month of May. Now, it's a single-month fishery, but I'm telling you, there's fish to be had. Typically, those fish are pretty decent size up there, too. Not too shabby on that Skagit. That's your old stomping grounds from back in the day. But that Skagit fishery is one to take advantage of, especially you guys living up north. If you weren't familiar with it, man, you need to get up there and take advantage of that spring Chinook opportunity. You got a full month to do it, almost.
And a few years ago, they had a couple of 40-pound springers coming to the Cascade Hatchery.
That's what I'm saying.
4-0.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big fish up there opportunity.
Yeah.
Yep. Daily limit is 2 hatchery fish. You got, 25 days or so left. 2 fish opportunity up there for spring Chinook, either in a boat or, go bank fish that sucker. There is some definite opportunity from the bank. Go find some stringers for sure. And along with that, spreading out the masses, as I had mentioned. I mean, you got the Soul Duck is open. You got the Kalama.
And I just got a good report from the Soul Duck also.
Yeah.
They had an additional plant a few years ago. They upped the plant there.
Right.
And this is the first year of the return.
Right.
And if you're going to go over there and go springer fishing, I would do it.
Yeah.
From what I've heard from my spies out there, yes, I would go.
The Cowlitz, and I'm going to get into this a little bit here. The emergency rules, if you're not paying attention to what's going on, it actually closed May 1st. Ooh. Yeah, Cowlitz is closed to springers right now. It's closed to all salmon. That's one, if you read the regular regulations, and like I said, we'll get into this, you're going to think Cowlitz is open right now, okay? You're going to think some of these rivers have a 2-fish limit. Okay, that's been changed as of the last few days. You got to pay attention to that. But other opportunity. I mean, Drano is just kicking them out like crazy.
Yes,
I'm supposed to go fish with Chris Turvey and Scott and the boys from Brad's here on the 10th. We'll see if that date holds. But we got some scheduling conflicts that we might start running up against. No big deal. Still plenty of opportunity. But Drano's fishing, fantastic. There's other tributaries up there on that side that are set to open. A couple you're getting pretty excited about.
I'm here to tell you, I have one opening up in my backyard.
Yes, you do.
I don't know. I can't hardly contain myself. This is tremendous.
You had no idea until you arrived here tonight.
No idea.
Hey, Bill, you realize the Yakima is opening for spring Chinook, and you're like, what?
Wow, hello.
Yeah.
The places that's open is right down below the hill from my house.
Yeah.
I can put waders on in my garage, walk down below the hill, packing my rod and whatnot. Wouldn't that be cool?
They've recognized 2 areas on the Skagit, or not the Skagit, the Yakima that are set to open tomorrow. The first section, Area A, 240 bridge in Richland upstream to State Route 241. So this is the first section of the river, the lower section portion that is going to open, Bill. That is from tomorrow, May 6th through June 15th. So you got a good amount of time to get in some action there. Area B, which is the area you're talking about, is the Interstate 82 bridge at Union Gap, a little further upriver to the Burlington Northern Rail Bridge, approximately 600 feet down from Rosa Dam. So that's a pretty decent area. You already pointed out a handful of areas that you're like, holy cow, I can literally walk right to it, get some bait going.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious on the turbidity of that river, the volume, the flow. Is it fishable? Is this something that people can go find success? That second section doesn't open until May 17th.
Which is a good thing, because the one that opens now, you see your desk?
Yeah, it's about
your desk has the same color and visibility as the water does right now. I was driving along the canyon coming up here, leaving from the house.
Yeah.
It is quite high. It's 5,000 to 6,000 CFS right now. It is cooking. There's trees coming down. Yeah. We had a 75-degree day yesterday.
A lot of snow melt.
A lot of snow melt. And they're opening up, all the reservoirs are being open right now for watering. All the people, all the orchards and whatnot, they're getting thirsty. Yep. And this is the time of year they let it rip, Open
How was that again? What was that? Oh, yeah, that thing. Okay. So, more opportunities coming. We got other things opening up. There's going to be other tributaries on the east side that I'm sure they're going to announce over the next couple of weeks that will continue to open. You want to talk dam counts?
Okay.
Let's talk dam counts.
Talk dam counts.
So you kind of go, well, how is the run performing? Since May 1st, I think I have it here. May 1st, we had just over 6,000 go over. We've had multiple 6,000 days, fish days. May 2nd, we had over 7,400. May 3rd, almost 13,500 fish in one day. Okay,
winner.
And then yesterday had another over 7,000 days. So it's exceeding 6,000 and 7,000 fish a day, and we get a few of those higher bumps. That's at Bonneville. So that tells you that the numbers are starting to climb. We got over 72,000 have gone over Bonneville so far. 72,000.
And this bodes really well for the summer Chinook too. It's gotta.
Yeah, you would just think
if these are coming, I don't see how it could possibly taper off.
Right.
And so let's hope that the 65 to 70,000 they had predicted for the summers.
Yep.
Let's hope they're really wrong.
Here's the other interesting thing that I noted on the Yakima opportunity in both areas. Much like the Willamette, you got a 2-rod opportunity, 2-rod endorsement. If you've bought your 2-rod endorsement option on your licensing, you can fish 2 rods in the Yakima.
So what you're saying
is
I could go down there and throw out a big spinning glow and a gob of guts.
Plunk away, my friend.
And the other rod, I can throw bobber and eggs while the other one just sits there.
Twitch a jig.
Twitch a jig.
Do whatever. Have one that you're working, one just sitting there waiting for him to come by. I mean, that. Why wouldn't you?
Precisely.
Why would you not, right? So,
and it's a 2-fish limit?
Yeah, 2-fish limit. You got, it's a good 6 weeks in each of those areas throughout their prospective seasons. You got a 2-rod opportunity. I'm telling you, that Yakima is going to hopefully present with you and other folks a great opportunity to get on some spring Chinook, much like the one we eat tonight, by the way.
Which was dandy.
Amazing.
I'm here to tell you, what excites me is when I had to move over there, I moved a long ways from everything, and all I do is sit around the house and curse.
Yes.
Because I have to drive so far to fish.
Right.
But now, you want to go fish the Yakima, you got to come down to my place. You got to come where my house is. I like that.
That being said, you got to pay attention to rule changes, regulation changes. They kind of filter them in throughout the season. So one thing that has happened as of yesterday, all of the main stem Columbia River is closed. Above Bonneville, below Bonneville, whole main stem is closed. But we got all these, side opportunities, little, Drano and the wind, and then of course all the tributaries. And again, we should see more upriver tributaries opening as we progress, right? And the more fish that come over the dam. The other adjustments you have to look for, okay? Some of them went into effect May 1st, some of them as soon as just yesterday. Some of them actually were in effect since March 1st. Now I can tell you there's a particular tributary where I know I've seen pictures and I've seen people at the river keeping 2 fish.
So have I.
Okay?
Yes.
That particular river actually went to a 1-fish limit March 1st. Right, I mean, even before it truly started fishing well.
Yes, but how do you find out that?
The problem here is WDFW, and I hope you're paying attention, and I try to stay on top of this stuff.
Right.
And at times, people ask me, I go, no, I think it's open, then I have to go check. I go, oh, well, look at that, it closed 5 days ago, whatever. If you go to the WDFW website, 2022 Fishing Regulations Pamphlet, you get the online version.
Sure.
You can scroll through. It's set up really nice. Navigates you through based on letters and, alphabetical where these rivers and you go to freshwater, rivers and lakes, go to the river section, scroll down through, find your river, read the regulations. You go, okay, I'm good. Go fishing.
Right.
If you have not taken the time to click on emergency rules, which is on that same page, completely different section, completely different subtitle, click on that, then it starts breaking it down for you. Particular river I'm talking about, I went to Fishing Regs 2022, emergency rule changes. Then I had to click on what emergency rules are in effect for freshwater fishing. Then I had to click on show all freshwater emergency rules. There was a list of them, and they dated clear back to March 1st. Now, if you keep up on this like every week, you're going to see them as they add them through the season. So a few of these just went into play here a couple days ago, but some of these, where I go to the main page and read regulations, it's clear as day. Oh, I got a 2-fish limit. I go under this 6-step process to get to what the regulations are, and then the light bulb clicks on. I go, oh, actually, it's a 1-fish retention, right?
Sure.
Now, I haven't seen a game warden down there none. Not a single one in the multiple days.
To give them one little bit of credit, in the pamphlet, it does say at the beginning of the pamphlet, please check emergency regulations before you go out.
Yep.
But if someone just picks up the pamphlet and they're going, okay, they find the river they're going to fish, here's the regs, off they go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like when I go fish Montana, I just got back from fishing Montana, I look at the regulations in the pamphlet. That's it. Why would I look anywhere else for regulations, right?
I get it.
I have no reason except, I'm legal, let's go.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people rely on solely the printed regulations pamphlet.
Certainly.
They put that in their boat, they put that in their box, they go fishing, it's with them all year. Gamey comes up and says, hey, you realize it's this or that? No, look, I open up, nope, you didn't check the emergency regulations. And if you don't have cell service, you can't check your emergency regulations. So I wish there was a way to update the online regulations like real time. When they make a change, get in there on the main page and boom, update that sucker. Because really, to go through that emergency regulation change or check, it literally is 5 or 6 clicks to get to the river I'm looking for specifically.
Yeah, so you're looking for something that's well hidden.
I get it. We can put the message out there. Hey, before you go fishing, like it says in the beginning of the pamphlet, be sure to check your emergency regulations, right? Because there are changes at this almost weekly in some cases. Now, it may not affect the exact river you're fishing, which is great, but when they throw that one in there and all of a sudden you go, oh man, good thing I looked because I would have kept 2 fish today.
Sure.
Right?
And you'd have been technically right because you're looking at the regulations. This is what it says. This is what I can do legally.
Yeah.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
And I'd heard nothing. How would you know unless you just on your own went and checked?
Check the regulation, check the emergency updates.
Yeah,
that's all you can do.
Boy.
Go to the main page, check the emergency regulation updates weekly, and just keep up on that, or the news. They come out with the news each week on those regulation changes. Click on the news tab and you're probably going to get it. So, so yeah, that is main stem of Columbia is closed, a handful of other things. Cowlitz is closed to Chinook retention or fishing.
You can still steelhead fish in the Cowlitz, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the regulation changes of some of these rivers and opportunities have gone to a 1 fish, so make sure you check in on that. All right, moving along, the Sportco Spring Anniversary Sale continues. Of course, on my page it says Spring Anniversary Kale. Not sure how that got in there, but apparently they're selling vegetables down there. Hey, stop in, see the Hot Dog Lady Jen. Fantastic lunch, by the way, if you get one of them. And things are still on sale, though. I went there to get me a new pair of Romeos the other day, and guess what? Almost cleared out.
You waited too long.
No, I waited too long. I waited 2 weeks too long. The sale goes on through the 8th. Make sure you get down there. They have tons of gear, fishing gear, tackle, all kinds of things, lots of camping stuff. The store is plugged full of opportunity, unless you're looking for Georgia Romeos, not so much, unless you have small feet. So, with that, moving on. Hey, I want to remind everybody, as we announced last week, the up and coming May 21st, the 2nd annual Kids Trout Derby here at Summit Lake, sponsored by Fish Hunt Northwest and the Summit Lake community. The date again, May 21st, daylight start time. Weigh-in will be over there at the community center. Opens at about 8 a.m. Does open at 8 a.m. Participants can come over to the community center and start your weigh-in. You have to be there no later than 11 to be in line to get your fish weighed in and entered into the Derby. It's absolutely free. Prizes will be awarded at the completion of weigh-in. The categories are biggest trout, biggest kokanee, biggest random category, perch, catfish, bass, etc. Most weight of your 5 trout limit, and of course, most weight team limit of 3, largest trout. Again, Derby is free. Participants are kids 14 years of age and under. Go to Fish Hunt, go to www.fishhuntnw.com, and you can scroll down to our email portion. Register your kids, pre-register. We're trying to get an idea, Bill, on how many participants we have. All kids get a free t-shirt. They just got done with the design on that. It's going to be totally awesome. Fish Hunt Northwest, Summit Lake Community, 2nd annual Derby t-shirt that all the kids get. Tons of prizes to be awarded for the kids participating in the Derby. Every kid gets a free raffle ticket. Parents can buy for the adult raffle $5 tickets. All the money goes back in to help us next year to continue the Derby. You're going to get a big grab bag or tackle box full of gear, some old, some new. There may be alcohol in the adult bags. Make sure we get them in the right, right ones.
Definitely want to do that, yes.
We have a lot of really good prizes to give away if parents buy those $5 raffle tickets. I mean, you throw $20 down, you get 4 tickets. You go home with a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah, and you have a good time.
And a good time.
Yeah.
And the money goes back in to help us next year to keep this going. This thing is blown up, people. I'm telling you, I had no idea it would blow up so big. But you can go to our Facebook page. You can look. It's pinned to the top. There's a QR code on the poster. Simply hold your phone on that QR code. It takes you right to our page, and you can register your kids. Names, ages, shirt sizes is the main goal here. And then we'll have you sign in when you show up for the Derby, just so we can have you on the official weigh-in ticket. But it's all going to be set up. Volunteers. We could still use a few folks if anybody wants to help out. Message us up on our Facebook page if you would, please, or email us at www.fishhuntnw.com. This is all about the kids. May 21st, weather's going to be great. Going to have food there. Lots of giveaways. Really good time. Pretty excited.
It sounds like a great time, man.
Yeah. So bring the kids out. Let's get some fish and have a good time, and you're gonna enjoy. All right. With that, hey, running down the show, Mr. Zog.
Yes.
We've got a lot going on here. You are back with me for week number 2, and we're going to talk some springers. We kind of alluded to that. We had some great success this past week, and we're going to share what we know. We're going to kind of throw it out there and break it down.
I've eaten more spring Chinook this year than I have in a long time.
Yeah, it's that kind of year. Then,
boy.
The focus is on you, my good man. We're going to put you in the bait lab for what I termed or coined back in the day when we were doing radio, Dodgerology 101, right?
Yes.
You do a fantastic job with this, going to walk us through. There's so many options for Dodger choices. And folks, get your notepads out. The general's going to take us on through it, tell you why, which ones you need, and how they differ, right?
Well, one of the cool things about designing a spoon for steelhead back in the day, when we did the BC Steel, I got to talk to Boeing hydrologists, guys who work on wings.
Yeah.
They told me about vacuums and frequency and volume and wave and camber and all this, and I just like, whoa, English.
Right? Please, right.
But from what I learned in all this, I started looking at Dodgers a whole different way.
Gotcha.
And started putting that that knowledge towards what in Dodgers and how they work. And so I can look at one and I know what it's going to do before I put it in the water. And that's one thing. If you're buying, you don't got to buy 4 or 5 Dodgers and try them all out and go, well, this doesn't work. This one's not working for what I do. No, you want to, each one has its own time and place, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, fantastic. That's going to be good. Pay attention because you're going to walk us through it. Then we're going to get long-time friend Mike Olson, Mike E. Olson Outdoors. He's the chairman of Snoqualmie Valley Ducks Unlimited. Mike is joining us to talk about a great event coming up here, the Snoqualmie Valley Ducks Unlimited Youth Outdoor Days. This is something they've tried to do the last couple of years, but due to COVID, they had to continue to push it off. So here he is, up and going this year. Tons of sponsors, lots for the kids to do. He's going to break this down. It's going to blow your mind. You want to go drive an excavator? I mean, we talked about it last week. It's like he is. This is going to be a good time for the kids.
I can go drive an excavator.
Yeah, you could.
I could do that.
Yeah. You're taller than the Dennis the Menace sign. You get in, so you're good to go. And then we'll close out the show with you, Sir William.
Okay.
And you know what I want to do? I want to answer viewers' questions. You guys got questions for Bill. Hold on to them towards we get towards the latter part of the show because they'll get lost here in the scroll. But as we get towards that last segment, man, start throwing your questions on here. Maybe it pertains back to something he talked about in the bait lab tonight, going over Dodgers. Whatever it is, we will put some time in our last segment, closing out the show with Bill before he heads off to Alaska, and answer any of your questions or throw them up there for me or for Fish on Northwest, whatever you got. We're here to answer questions of the viewers. So I want to welcome everybody to the show. We got a good lineup here tonight. Lots of folks chiming in, and I will have to scroll back through and see if we can catch up on a few of these questions. So before we get there, going to jump out for a quick break. Don't go anywhere. A couple minutes on the commercials here. We'll be back in studio. Bill, we're talking springers.
Yes, we are.
Absolutely. When we come back here, Fish on Northwest.
Sportco and Outdoor Emporium is the largest local outfitter in the Northwest since 1975, providing thousands of people affordable outdoor gear. This summer, make your next outdoor adventure more affordable by shopping at our warehouse-style pricing. We are a local Scotty dealer, offering sales, service, and repair. Located in Fife and Seattle, come visit us today. The outdoors await you.
For more than 90 years, you've entrusted one brand to guide you towards living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Now you can entrust affiliated Better Homes and Gardens real estate professionals to interpret your needs and help you find the home in which to live your dreams. Through every stage of your home buying or selling process, and through every stage of your life, there's Better Homes and Gardens real estate. Expect better.
Sergeant Daniel Moulter began his tour of duty on October 21st, 1996, and ended his tour on June 27th, 2020. On the authority of Constable Carlos B. Lopez of the Travis County Constable's Office, Precinct 5, badge number 504 is officially retired, and Sergeant Dale Moulter is 1042. Godspeed, Sergeant Moulter.
Honoring fallen law officers of 2021. The 2022 End of Watch Ride begins in May from Spokane, Washington. The ride across the country to honor the men and women of law enforcement who paid the ultimate sacrifice in their service to our communities will cover more than 23,000 miles. We ride to ensure that no fallen officer or their family is ever forgotten. EOW relies on sponsors and donations to cover this cost. Please consider donating to help support the families and departments of the fallen officers. You can donate by visiting our website at www.endofwatchride.com blue.org/donate. Please support the Blue.
Hi, this is Joe and Megan from Archery World. We have 4 store locations. We are at the Lacey location right now. I just want to highlight some of our camping gear. We have Mystery Ranch packs. We also have trekking poles. We have crispy boots. We have 6 Hour optics. We carry Havalon knives. We carry Garmin products as well. So it's not just archery. We want to try to make this one-stop shopping for you guys. And so if you need it and it puts you in the outdoors, we probably have it. So come down and see us.
All right, welcome back here, Fish on Northwest, waiting on Bill Herzog. I told you back for week 2 of punishment, sir.
Well, this is not bad punishment. You got to talk anywhere I can talk fishing, and I get to eat a piece of spring Chinook. Are you kidding me? I'd have driven twice as far.
There's a reason you're eating spring Chinook tonight, because the week's been pretty doggone good, successful in our own right. So we headed down there. We met up with Scott Cole, owner there at Brad. You guys met Scott a few weeks ago. If you hadn't, prior to, him and Chris Turvey were here on the show with me. And we teamed up and decided to go put the drift boat in and go take on a river that we hadn't been to in a long time. And turned out to be a pretty doggone good day.
Well, as long as I don't have to row.
Yeah. I'll go
anywhere, right? I wasn't quite sure what to do with myself. I'm like, dude, and I know what to do with my hands.
Right.
I didn't know what to do. It was a lot of fun.
I loaded the boat with plenty of options. Of course, we knew we were going to run the bobber and egg rods for sure. Now, I don't know if you folks have been finding sand shrimp, but apparently we got a little difficulty with finding commercially harvested sand shrimp as of late. There's something going on there that I'm not going to get into. And so, the Cal's cocktail, as it was.
Oh, the back bouncers cocktail. You bet. Yes.
Nice gooey eggs, putting out a nice scent trail, and of course, top of that off with the sand shrimp has kind of been a go-to for a lot of Springer anglers for years. I mean, when they're available, I'll get them, kind of like a safety net to have them. But for last several years, finding plenty of success just fishing eggs, but not just eggs that are cured. With some random cure or whatever. Of course, I've been with Potskis for well over 15 years, and I use exclusively Potski products, but I also change up some of the things. So those eggs we're fishing, we had a couple different recipes, and they both worked. They both work great. One of them, the fish that was grabbing the eggs you were fishing, those were pre-frozen, uncured, that I cured in a wet brine, that I'm mixing in a can of tuna in oil into the wet brine. So when those eggs thaw out in the wet brine, they're absorbing in, as they cure, some of that oil and some of that tuna oil, that natural oil. And you take them out, strain them, drain them, pack them up, freeze them, thaw them out. They fish just fine for you.
First cast in the water, I watched, they come and go, whoosh.
A big milk coming out of them.
Big cloud. I'm like, wow.
But you put nothing else on there. I had all kinds of scents and all kinds of things going on. And you just put those good eggs out there that milk out nice and red, dark red, right? The darker the red, for me, the better, especially on spring Chinook.
Sure.
And those eggs worked fantastic. They absolutely caught fish. And the other ones I was fishing also had... I was fishing a couple different recipes, and I've put all these out there. I don't keep nothing close to the vest anymore. It's just all out there. You can find these recipes. Go to potskis.com, Google my name, whatever. You're going to find these recipes. One of my long-standing ones is a Baraxophyre mixture that I do, where I'm adding a little extra krill. I'm adding a small amount of sodium sulfite to the Baraxophyre, because Baraxophyre is predominantly a steelhead cure, not really designed for salmon. It does an amazing job on helping toughen your loose-skeined eggs up. I've written tons of articles on this.
Sure.
But I'll add some sodium sulfite as a bite stimulant. And I'm also putting in there my dehydrated and ground up sardine powder.
You got stuff in there, man. I tell you what, there's something about eggs too. I'm limited in my spring Chinook fishing compared to everything else I've always done.
Right.
But I've caught plenty of them here and there on raw prawn, sand shrimp, cured prawn, whatever. But every time I went to eggs, it seemed like I'd catch more fish. The bites are more intense, more frequent.
Yeah.
And I brought this up to a lot of anglers, and they go, "Oh yeah, absolutely. The egg bite for a springer, number one.
Sure.
Uber alles."
Yep.
Right.
You got to have eggs that have great scent. I think the fishier they smell, the better you're going to do. So you take those eggs you're fishing with that tuna enhancement.
Oh my, yes.
They smell very fishy. The ones that I add, the sardine, dehydrated sardine, and the key there is it's dehydrated, ground up sardine powder. But when those eggs juice out and they release the fluids and then they absorb it back in, they're rehydrating that flesh. In that flesh, although it's dehydrated, is the natural oils of that sardine. That gets drawn into those eggs. When you put those eggs in the water, they not only send a milk trail down, but you can see the little pops of oil, right? Releasing
because it comes up on the surface. Yeah.
So I have been doing that recipe for years. It works fantastic for fall salmon. Those tuna cured eggs work amazing for coho. Just hands down, last year, just coho, and we got a big coho year coming.
Oh my.
So I got to get some more of those frozen eggs from Brad and start curing those up. But that tuna recipe is lights out. But I really think that it's hard to beat that dehydrated sardine mixture on those eggs, fishing under a float, right conditions. Those springers are going to whomp on them. You don't need sand shrimp.
No.
You don't need to add any extra oils.
I would think sand shrimp would be an unnecessary addition.
Though it is springer fishing, if you can get sand shrimp, I always advocate you take it. The other things you want to have in your arsenal as far as scents and presentation options, I always carry a good arrangement of Atlas Mike's scents because they are number one on the market. They are the most natural smelling. If it says herring on there, you bet it smells like herring. If it says tuna, which is one of mine, and of course the beer is number one go-to, tuna on everything. And if you put a little tuna on and want to take it off, just put a little more tuna on, right? Because
I have a fascinating fact about Mike's herring oil.
Oh, you do?
It was the very first scent.
Oh, that's right.
In the entire Northwest.
Yes, it was.
The first one ever made. So back when it was a super secret thing, when they're putting the Mike's herring oil, we caught steelhead with it, we caught salmon with it.
Yes.
And and by God, it still works.
Yeah.
What do you know?
Well, they got an entire lineup now. I'm telling you, the crayfish is one you want to have in your arsenal. It smells so fishy. And when I'm talking about baits that smell fishy and you're not getting bit, all of a sudden you go, I think I'll try some of this crayfish. I've said it on here before. It is now one of my go-tos for kokanee. It is that good. I'm going to give you a bottle for you to try and mix in with your corn or your maggots. But I'm telling you, the crayfish is one to have. The tuna is one to have. The sand shrimp for sure.
So what if I took the crayfish and the tuna?
That would be a crazy mixture.
Oh.
You just blew my mind, bro. But I think the key here is you want to have, so if you don't have a number of different egg cures at your disposal that you pull out of your freezer, if you're isolated to say one scent of egg, make sure you grab a handful of different scents of Mike's oils, Atlas Mike oils, and you're going to take those, a little 1 or 2 drop on each chunk of egg you put out there, and fish a different scent with each presentation till you figure out what triggers them, right? It's a good way to move through it. The other thing we did is we pulled a lot of divers. We had Scott with us. We were pulling some mini cup plugs, the MCPs, which are fantastic. Don't underestimate the mini cup plugs or the kokanee cup plugs for Chinook. I've done it with Aaron Peterson on the east side up there at on the Columbia outside Dallas or out in front of the Klickitat on a 360, and those guys that are fishing those brads on behind those 360s are killing it.
That's what we do up
on
there.
The minis, right?
Yeah.
They will work. We were running jet divers with 5-foot leaders and rolling those mini cup plugs. Either put some sardine in them, or I had my mixture of different scents and ingredients in that paste.
We always use tuna and garlic.
Yeah.
What do you know?
And it works.
And the tuna and garlic stuff in there. And also, when the sun comes up, we go to the kokanee size plug.
Yeah. To dumb it down a little.
For Chinook.
They look great. They spin fantastic. They have action. You're backing them down in front of the fish. You're down at the level where they are. You can change your scent. If you don't want to put tuna in the inside of it, or pack it, and just get some of your fire gel. The Potskis line up a fire gel. You can get your garlic. You can get your tuna, You can get your crawfish, you can get herring, you can get any scent you want in the fire gel. Swipe a little bit of that on the bottom of that plug and send it.
You know what else they use in there?
Huh?
Give you a hint. We normally trout fish with it. They put it inside there. The dough baits.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
They put
pinch that in there.
Yeah, they put.
Well, a lot of them dough
baits
baits have a pretty high percentage of garlic in them. A lot of them do.
Sure.
They got garlic and krill in them.
And they fit in there very nicely, and they dissolve slowly. There you go.
Shane
right?
Vanderlyn says, don't use herring anise for kokanee because it doesn't work. Yeah. But you know, springers can be finicky, but they can also be very willful biters. With good bait presented at the right depth, right speed, find the water is conducive to holding them.
Yep.
Right? Especially as the sun comes up on the water, then fish are going to stage up in the deeper holes, but it's got to be moving. You're not going to find them laying over there in that really, really soft water flopping around like an old dark king in the fall. You're going to find these fish in oxygenated water, especially as we get later into, say, June, on some of these tribs that are still open, the water starts dropping.
It gets warmer.
It gets warmer.
Yeah.
You're going to find them in the heads of holes, the moving water, the oxygenated water.
Sure.
Am I not right?
Right.
The other thing to think about is, I was kind of saying there that, you know, you think they're picky biters, but this fish I caught the other day, a couple days ago.
It was gargling everything in the river, wasn't it?
It had 2 sand shrimp and 2 coon shrimp in its stomach, right? Always check stomach content, even of my in-river fish, because I want to know if they're eating. Now, we talk about the tenacity of steelhead and how they're in the river, they're eating because they got to survive, right?
It's all opportunistic. They're not looking for food. You know, as the salmon, they got plenty of body oil. They don't need to eat another bite of nothing until they spawn.
Right.
But if it presents itself, they're going to grab it.
It's an easy target
to augment their whatever they're doing.
So these springers coming in the river now aren't spawning until fall.
Right.
They got a lot of energy stores, as you mentioned, with all that fat, and some of them are navigating many miles up into these systems.
Hundreds of miles.
Right, into these upper tribs. But again, as you said, opportunistic, right? This thing had a couple coon shrimp and a couple sand shrimp in it for good reason. It comes floating down, breaks off guys' riggings, guys toss bait in the river, whatever. They're going to eat it. So even though it had food in its stomach, it still took my eggs under a float, right?
Sure.
It's just all about presentation. So, you know, don't think that just running wrapped plugs, although they work, and I like to run smaller plugs. I like to run down into the 13s and the 14s for springers. You can run 15s and 16s, but you got much clearer water, lower conditions typically than we're fishing in the fall. I think the clarity is the key, and springers tend to be a little more finicky, and you don't want to push them back with a big old plug rattling in their face and lots of chrome flashing.
They're not a 40-pound fall fish with a big snarly face.
No.
They're defending his territory. They're a whole different creature.
So smaller plugs, yes, wrap them with tuna belly or sardine is always a good stable go-to.
Sure.
Take your MCPs, take those small cup plugs from Brad's, load those with bait, put them on behind a Jet 10 or a Jet 20 if you're in a really deep hole, but Jet 10 tends to get it done, and go for it. Also coon shrimp, and do not discount your steelhead sized coon shrimp. You don't have to have those monster prawns.
No, the sockeye sized ones are just beautiful.
Again, we're fishing tributaries. We're not out there trolling big bladed, presentations on the Columbia. We're not in the Willamette. We're in some of these smaller tributaries. Smaller presentation like a coon shrimp with a small spin and glow, or a smile blade. I run them with a doggone smile blade above a couple beads, right?
Why not?
It works great. So
I noticed one thing that we put in behind a whole bunch of boats, right?
Oh yeah.
And the beautiful part about springers is they go on bites.
Yes.
Right. You can have a hole full of fish, and there'll be 3 or 4 boats going over it, and those fish are they have blinders on and hoods on. They don't even notice what's going on. All of a sudden, you'll see one roll. Yeah. Right? This is something I've noticed with spring Chinook, again, in my limited, what I've done fish for them. But I've noticed is times a day, it doesn't really matter what time of day. It could be at crack of dawn, it could be noon, 1 o'clock we saw this.
Sure.
We got into a hole, all of a sudden, boom. 1 rolls, 2 rolls, down go the floats.
Yep.
Bang, bang, bang. Then when the bite turns on, sometimes you don't have to be first. Often you're not going to be first. On a lot of these rivers, you're not going to be first. So the great bait. Follow them with the great bait like your cures, okay?
Yep.
Be patient, keep it small, work hard, and take your time.
Yep.
Because that's what we did. We took our time, and it really pays off.
I always call that batting cleanup. You and I have done that for years, right? Put in Boat races, no, not going to do it. Going to let guys blow past us, let them go past some, good fish in water. Them fish may just, push over and kind of get off to the side a little bit as boats come through. They may just kind of level out then, and you go through their nice, slow, methodical pace. Be thorough, fish the water thoroughly, because you're missing fish if you're just bombing down river, not taking advantage of every hole that presents itself. Because guys are missing fish, I guarantee it. And the rivers are going to get more crowded. It's that time of year now. The weather's going to turn a little nicer here, hopefully, and we should be at the top of it here as we get to the latter part of May into June. We're going to be right at the time where these tributaries are stuffed full, and it's going to get crowded. So take your time, leave the boat at home, go bank fishing.
Find your piece of water.
Yeah, find your piece of water.
Find your piece of water when you find your fish. The old saying, don't leave fish to find fish, right? There will be a time of day, even the bank guys.
Yeah.
I've seen this mostly when I'm out on the bank.
Right.
A stick in a hole until I'm to the point you get your steelheader brain is hard to unplug.
Oh, yeah.
You make 4 or 5 casts and go, we're done.
Well, you know what that is? That is having confidence in your abilities. It's having confidence in your bait. It's having confidence in your presentation to go, hey, I'm confident enough. I know when a fish or fish move into this hole, I'm going to get one. I'm going to hook one, right? I ran down there the other day to do a little bank fish. I told Sherry, I said, I'm going down to catch a fish. I'll be back home in a few hours. And boom, 45 minutes, I'm done, right? So, I mean, have confidence in your game. And if you don't have confidence in your game, then change what you're doing. Look around, try to figure out what it is you need to change in your presentation or what have you. Hit us up for questions and comments and education on cure and bait. I throw it all out there. If I had eggs to cure right now, I'd walk you through a simple process on how to get eggs ready for springers. But
I have a question for you.
You do.
Okay, I have I had no cures around. I got a bunch of coho eggs last fall. Yeah. And I had some good old 20 Mule Team borax. I boraxed them up like I did back in the 70s and the 80s, right? Packed them really nice, took my time with them, packed them up, froze them. I have these beautiful boraxed roe. Yeah. Now, if I want to take these and go fish springers, what do I do to them?
Because they're already somewhat cured and dehydrated, though, and I've taken the eggs that you've given to me before that have been boraxed up. You're like, here, I don't need these, go fish them. I took them and I actually put them in a wet brine, a fire brine, because I wanted the liquid cure to add a bunch of color to them, but I didn't want to just put an additional powder coating of cure on them, get them to juice out, and then try to re-cure, because they're not going to really do what you need them to do, and it's going to weaken the eggs. I put them in a wet brine. I'll add, let's say you give me 10 pounds of boraxed eggs.
You ain't getting 10 pounds.
Well, let's say in this situation I am. We're going to take those and we are going to get them out of the borax, shake them all off. I'm going to put them in a vat of, bottle of red fire brine. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of red boraxyl fire, stir that in there. I made it out of elixir krill, and I am going to dump in there 1 full can of tuna and oil. I'm going to stir that into that liquid mix, and I'm going to put them eggs in there, and I'm going to let them soak, 12 hours or so, probably. I'd check them, see if they took on a lot of color. If they're not taking on enough color, I'm going to take about a tablespoon or 2 of the red fire dye. You want to talk about adding some red to your eggs?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm talking almost purple. But I guarantee you, the redder your eggs are, the better they're going to perform, especially when it comes to Chinook and especially when it comes to spring Chinook. That's my opinion. That's my experience. That's what I stick with because for me, it works. So
now, I'm not anywhere near your expertise in egg cure, but back in the day, I'd have all these borax eggs. I'd go down to the river. I would have some red dye, put that on there, and then take any kind of liquid scent like garlic tuna or whatever, and just hit them all in and just kind of move it around a little bit and maybe shake some sodium sulfite or something on it and kind of work it around. I caught fish doing that. Yeah. And it's not the perfect thing. It's not obviously not as good as what you're going to do, but it seemed to work. Right. And the fish ate them. So
that's the key.
Right.
Well, good bait. Good presentation, confidence, I think. When it comes to
eggs
springers,
look beautiful. They look really good.
Just, go to the river with confidence. If you have confidence in what you're doing and you feel like, if there's a fish in here, I'm going to catch it, that just ups your game tenfold.
Absolutely.
I can't express that enough. So, but it's just getting started for us in a lot of these tributary opportunities in the Upper East Side and things that are going to open up and more opportunity to come. We're going to break it down for you as the weeks go on. I will show you how I tend to rig up my vertical presentation on bobber and eggs. Oh boy. Yes, you can also bobber dog or float drift for spring Chinook in certain types of water. It's conducive as long as the water is conducive to that presentation.
This might be something later on when it gets warmer.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get lower water, and it's going to be, they're going to be seeking out that more turbulent oxygenated water, and that is not always conducive to vertical. So I like to drag that lead, slow it down a little bit. But
sure.
As we progress through season, I will break that down for you, show you the difference. And of course, we're going to talk twitch and jigs for spring Chinook as we roll through the season as well. Okay, we are running a bit behind, sir, because that was some great conversation.
Okay.
I will get a hold of Mike Olson, tell him we're slightly delayed. He'll be fine with that.
Okay.
Because we're going to jump out for a quick break. We come back. You, my friend, are going to be in the bait lab. Dodgerology 101. Kokanee fishermen, trout anglers as well. Get your notepads ready. Bill's going to break it down for you. Dodgerology 101 in the bait lab. We come back from this commercial break right here at Fish Hunt Northwest. Allied boats are built by West Coast fishermen for West Coast fishermen. Deep V 21-degree dead rise at the transom guarantees a smooth ride no matter the conditions. Allied offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Allied boats range from 19 to 32 foot in length, so no matter what type of heavy gauge boat you are looking for, we have it for you. All of our Corsair 21-foot and larger designs come standard with reverse chine that is welded inside and out with no extrusions below the waterline, so that you will never have to worry about corrosion problems down the road. Get out on the water today in a boat that you can trust and enjoy with Allied Boats. Contact us at Allied Boats today to learn much more about our incredible fishing machine.
New days, new beginnings. New friends, new loves, new dreams, new goals, new scenery, new job. No matter what the next chapter holds, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate will be there to help you find the new that's right for your lifestyle at any stage of your life. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Expect better.
Hi, we're Joe and Megan Malico, owners of Archery World up here in Lacey.
We're a full pro shop, so we have a full pro service also. We have a huge indoor range. We carry 11 bow lines, all the major bow lines, and then there's subsidiary companies too. Like if we carry Bowtech, we carry Diamond. If we carry Matthews, we carry Mission.
When you come in, we're going to ask you, what kind of price point you're looking for. What's your hope, what's your goals, what's your bow, and with that information in mind, we'll point you in the direction of, that price point bows, and then maybe give you the option to test fire, maybe a higher level bow, just so you can compare. But it really is all about getting what it is that's going to work for you.
We don't upsell anyone. They shoot it, they like it, they don't like it, they don't get it. We don't operate like that. And so if you need it and it puts you in the outdoors, we probably have it. So come down and see us.
Welcome back, Fish Hunt Northwest. We're in the Bait Lab, brought to you by Sportco and Max Lure. Hey, we're going to talk Dodgers today, kids. If you're a kokanee fisherman like me, you're going to want to know what to do with your Dodgers. And let me tell you something. What I've seen, I see guys do horrible things with their Dodgers to get different actions and whatnot. They'll take any old Dodger and they'll bend it, or they'll grab a Dodger randomly and they'll say, well, this one outfishes this one, but I really don't know why. This one seems to go faster and this one seems to work when I go slower. There's a reason for all this, okay? You want to make sure your Dodger matches what you're doing. It's so very important. And we're going to talk we're going to get a little fancy. We're going to talk about waves and camber and amplifications and vacuums and all this fun stuff, but it all is going to make sure that you catch more kokanee and what to use what Dodger and when. Okay, we're going to start with the Dodgers that go quicker. There are some with very little wave, very little amplification. Like these long teardrops Dodgers right here. As you can see, if you look at it from the side, there is very little wave and very little camber to the back of these Dodgers, and they're pretty long, which means the amplification and frequency, it takes longer for it to go through the water to get to a very small wave, which means these are going to go faster and move slower through the water. I watch guys take these type of Dodgers and they bend them because, well, they don't work quite right. Well, they're not made to do that. Do not bend your Dodger. Use a different Dodger. You're going to troll fast. The long, straight Dodgers like these are made for fast water trolling, like anywhere from 1.4 all the way up to 2.2 miles an hour. They will not, once you get above their frequency, as far as they can go, when you go too fast a Dodger, you want them to wobble back and forth, not flip over like a 360 flasher. And so these type you control a lot quicker because of their lack of wave, they're longer, and at the end they just don't have much frequency here. So they're gonna go fast. This is your fast Dodgers. When you're fishing for like landlocked coho, or anytime you need to go above 1.6, 1.7 miles an hour, you want to choose these, okay? Don't bend them. They're not made for you. If you want something that's going to work slower, we have to have something with a little more wave to it. Now, if you look at these two Dodgers right here, which is the best way to look at this one, probably from the top, you can see that this one has a wave, it's shorter, and it has a wave at each end, a more pronounced wave. What that means is this one is going to work faster at a slower presentation because the shorter the wave, it's a shorter, and you have more pronounced, we create vacuums, these waves right here, which create, it sucks and comes back and forth like that, whereas these kind of Dodgers really don't have that. But these, because they're more pronounced and they're shorter, they're going to work at a lot slower, much slower, something like 0.9 to 1.4 miles an hour. You want a Dodger that has just a little bit more wave to it so you can go slow and still get maximum action back and forth. Don't take this Dodger and bend it. Put that back in the tackle box and get yourself a Dodger like this one that has a more pronounced wave and a shorter body so it works at a slower pace. Now, my favorite Dodger in the whole world to use are these Arrow Flash, and there's a good reason for that. They have right at the end a very pronounced wave at the end, and the camber is the side of the Dodger. It's shaped like a spoon. Okay, it's not flat like this one. These are flat. This has a camber to it, and then what the camber does, it creates another additional vacuum that makes the lure really whip back and forth at a slower speed. These I can use at a more at a wider speed, for example. I can use these like anything from 1.2 all the way to almost 1.8 miles an hour. These designs, these Arrow Flash Dodgers, because of their camber and their slight wave to them, and they're shorter, they work at the widest range of speeds, and I'd really recommend those too. But also, if you look at, these are the good old-fashioned, the old Les Davis herring Dodgers type that we use for sockeye. We like these because they move very slowly. They whip very slowly back and forth. Again, they're pretty much a flat piece of metal with just a little wave at one end, and that's it. And what this is going to do, this wave, it's going to create it. It's going to push back this way, and the vacuum's going to suck it back. So you got this, that very slow action. So these things work at a really slow action, and they work really, really well. So if you're going to go slow for sockeye, use the flat Dodger with one wave. My all-around favorites for kokanee are going to be the dual wave Dodger with the shorter frequency and with a bigger amplitude, which means it's got more bend on it, creates more wave and more suction, more vacuum that's going to move this thing back and forth a heck of a lot more. So there you go, kiddies. If you want to do it right, make sure you have the right Dodger. We can talk about colors and UV. Always use UV, by the way. We can talk about that later, but your design a Dodger goes a long ways to your success, okay? If you're going to go fast, go with the teardrop, flat, no wave, one slight bend on the end. You're going to go slower, go with your dual wave Dodger, shorter body, more pronounced waves. And there you go. And this is Dodgerology 101. Back to you, Dwayne.
If you're looking for the best fishing rods in the world, you really do need to take a look at the edge rods. I designed and built new machinery, and I think this new machinery has enabled us to build blanks like no other company can build without this equipment. There is no other rods in the world that are as good as these rods. You owe it to yourself to take a good look at them.
A Northwest favorite for almost 40 years, Arima boats are manufactured with pride right here in Bremerton, Washington. Arima Boats offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. With literally thousands of Arima boats on the water throughout the Pacific Northwest, Arima boats are a proven hull design that offers incredible fuel economy and all of the amenities that a serious angler is looking for. All Arima boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Arima boats are designed to maximize deck space while also providing ample seating. Contact us today at Arima Boats for all your boating needs and let us help you get out on the water. All right, welcome back in studio here. Dwayne England, Bill Herzog. Nicely done, buddy.
Well, thank you.
Remember when we used to do those 60 seconds to success
yes,
there in the
did.
Wild Country days?
I kind of kept that in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
I thought, I hope I'm not over my 60 seconds.
Yeah, you got 60 seconds. We never got anything done in 60 seconds.
No,
I don't know why we ever called it that, but no, that was
catchy. It was catchy.
It was catchy, yeah. Well, the Bait Lab gets it done as well. So,
yes, it does.
Yeah, nice presentation. You knocked it out of the park. People understand waveform and the hydraulics and all that. Good stuff. Hey, a couple of notes here as I was going through the questions and the comments here while you were in there performing your circus. Couple great points here that I forgot to mention. So Steve McCombs, thank you. Yes, WDFW email. If you are on the WDFW email list, you'll get those emergency regulation updates frequently. When those closures and openings and bag limit changes and all that stuff comes out, they send that out on a mass email. So if you go to WDFW and sign up on their email list, you're going to get that stuff. The other one that folks are now using, I had the beta version of it when it first came out, the phone access app for your WDFW regulations. And when you're standing on a piece of ground next to a body of water and you punch on that, it updates you with all your information. I stopped kind of using that because I was in the early phases on, trying that out in the field and whatnot. And just, there was too many bugs that they were still working out. So
I would think you'd need to get some sort of, you've got reception.
Well, that's the key, right? There is a portion of that, as far as I've been led to believe, that you can access even if you don't have contact. So, but the phone app is fully implemented now. It's working well. I just forget to use the doggone thing. It's on my phone.
Sure.
But yeah, for the updates, but if you're in certain areas where you don't have connectivity, that does become an issue. So there are a couple options to get reminders. If you, like me, forget every so often to go to the emergency rule updates and got to navigate your way through, simply get on the email list. For me is the easiest way because you get those updates constantly. Or, as Steve and others have pointed out, use that phone app that I often forget about as well. So good points, guys. I appreciate you getting on here. Now that we've gotten through all that, the person who is currently waiting patiently on the other end of the phone in our backyard, presented by Phoenix Protective Corp.
Are you having a stroke?
Yeah.
Tonight?
Yeah, presented by Phoenix Protective Corp. Mike Olson Outdoors. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for jumping on with us.
Come on, guys. Come on, get it together.
Yeah, I know. We're fading fast here. Glad to have you back on the show, albeit not in studio this time, but on the phone. We'll take what we can get with you. You're so doggone busy. Snoqualmie Valley Ducks Unlimited. You are a chairman on the board there at Ducks Unlimited, Snoqualmie Valley, and big event coming up here, Youth Outdoor Days. Mike, you've been working on this for the past going on 3 years due to COVID and stuff, right?
Yes.
Due to COVID, I remember when we first started talking about this, and then COVID hit. You couldn't get it out, couldn't get it off the ground. So this truly is the first annual, is it not?
It is the first annual, yes, and it's going to be like the biggest on the West Coast. I mean, this thing is going to be it's going to be awesome. It's just so long in coming. And, people just like, I don't want to call them vendors, but all the people that are going to be there have been like, oh, are you going to do it this year? Are you going to do it this year? Snoqualmie Valley Ducks Unlimited, we're trying to get kids outdoors here in Washington and introduce them to the various activities. It might not be duck hunting, but teach them about conservation and, that it's an important part in enjoying nature and stuff like that. And, although DU, a lot of our events are circled around, making money for the wetlands. When it comes to youth, this is just, all we're trying to do is get them introduced to all the DNR, WDFW, all the different people involved and to learn, get interested and someday get involved themselves.
Well, I want to know, speaking of kids, what are they going to be able to do and learn there?
Well, there's so much going on. So one of the biggest things is we're going to have WDFWs bringing out a trout pond, and I've acquired 100 fishing poles. So the first 100 kids through the gate, May 15th, opens at 11, gates open at 11, we go till 6. First 100 kids getting a free fishing pole. Of course, you won't be using that at the pond, but, you're getting a free fishing pole, and we're going to have Kaylee, our superstar committee member, and Gretchen Dearden with Youth Outdoors. She'll be there, and they're going to be running that trout pond, and they're going to be putting smiles on everybody's faces. Eastside Fire Department's going to be out there. They're going to have their ladder trucks and stuff, flying flags, and we're going to Rancho Laguna is a nonprofit that's a local nonprofit out there, and they rescue horses, donkeys, chickens, rabbits, all that stuff. They'll be there walking around with horses and donkeys and handing out stuff. We got CR Construction. This is what we've been talking a lot about.
Yeah.
They're going to be they're coming out with some excavators and stuff, and they're going to put one excavator out, and they're going to have a little deal where the kids get to get on there, and they'll pick up a cone and try to put on another cone, and they get a running excavator.
That's pretty awesome.
What kid, yeah. I hope none of the parents try to push the kids off.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Yeah, no kidding. This is a hands-on event. Lots of things for kids to experience and learn. Lots of different presentations going on and affiliated with different companies and wilderness and whatnot. Talk a little bit about some of the educational side of this stuff.
Well, and some of that stuff, that conservation and the game wardens. We're going to have some game wardens out there they're trying their best to, if you've been to the Sportsman Show, you've seen the big orange trailer with all the poached heads and stuff in it. They're going to try to get that trailer out there so they'll be able to see and talk to the game wardens and learn more about that kind of stuff. Cascade Retrievers is going to be out there. They're going to be working dogs. Yeah, I-90 Motorsports. They'll be out there with side-by-sides and stuff. Issaquah Hatchery. Friends of Issaquah Hatchery will be out there giving out stuff. The committee that I'm on, the Puget Sound Recreational Fisheries Enhancement, they're going to be out there. They're going to be handing out goodies. And you know what? Not just the fishing pole. You're all getting a nice little Ducks Unlimited bag so you can pack that, so mom and dad can pack that stuff around. But
perfect. Yeah.
We'll also be having fingerprinting. We'll fingerprint and pictures. The Moose Lodge out of North Bend's going to be doing that. So for the parents, for the younger kids to kind of keep them, tuned in. Tanner Electric will be out there with big boom trucks. I got 2 huge inflatables coming out there.
Oh.
So if the kids get bored or the parents get tired of walking around, throw them inside that thing and
little bouncy house action.
Oh no, not little. No, the 25-foot slide.
Oh.
And a great big obstacle course.
That's
I'm
Bill's
gonna
in.
I'm going to drive the excavator and go in the bouncy house.
Hey, you said fingerprinting. Is that for the kids or for the parents? Or you got people looking for some, folks delinquent on their child payments? Or
no, they're like practicing to get arrested.
Right. Yeah.
That's just if Bill shows up.
Yeah. I got to fingerprint those kids. Get them on record early.
Right. And not to finish it off, but so we'll have a silent auction there, and we'll have payments and. We got there's going to be a drawing for Mariners clubhouse ticket or terrace tickets.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
And then we're going to throw in like a $200 Visa card for food and
fantastic.
A few other things. And then we got electric quads and bikes and pitchers and all kinds. Chevy of North Bend and Bellevue Toyota. They're
Real
putting in. They're putting in some free stuff, and it's so big. It's just been growing.
Any idea how many kids you're anticipating on this thing?
Well, in the beginning, we thought if we get a minimum of 200 kids just to come and learn about Ducks Unlimited and associate us with conservation, and that's success to us. So I'm thinking that there's probably going to be a heck of a lot more because. Just the outreach we've had, and when we got our permit for the event through the city of North Bend, they were just, "Oh, do you mind if we put this flyer all over?"
Right,
like, no, go right ahead. So, and as I go through the internet and stuff, I see this thing popping up everywhere. So, I think it's going to be pretty big. But with the size of this place, Meadowbrook Farm, we're like on 5 acres there. So, we got plenty of parking, plenty of stuff. We're going to have hot dogs, chips, and I actually told the guys that are bringing that stuff, excuse me, I actually told them, I said, you know what, instead of 150, bump that up to 400 hot dogs.
Oh, wow.
Just bring a bunch.
Yeah.
We got hot dogs,
a
bouncy house,
I
can rent an excavator.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can talk to WDFW, get fingerprinted and handcuffed all the same day.
What sounds like a weekend.
Yeah. And Snoqualmie Police Department will be there, so you know what, if you want to go for a ride, we'll see you later.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Mike, what time does it start?
Yeah.
This starts at 11 a.m. Okay. We got all our vendors coming in from about 7 to 10:30. And then they should be cleared out and set up by 10:30. And then at 11 a.m., we're going to open the gates. And, we might let some people in earlier, but with giving away the 100 fishing poles, we kind of got to stick to that 11 o'clock,
sure.
Right?
So, 11 o'clock start time, you're giving away 100 fishing pole rod and reel combinations to the first 100 kids through the gate. Give us the location once again.
Okay, that's Meadowbrook Farm, and that's in North Bend.
Okay.
You look that up online, and if you know North Bend at all, just go where the elk are.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, appreciate all the effort you put into this, along with all the other stuff you do with Snoqualmie Valley Ducks Unlimited. You're so involved. You got the big banquet coming up later in the year in August. Tons of things going on there for you. This event was really looking forward to it. Unfortunately, I'll be over on the east side turkey hunting and hopefully going after some big kokanee. But if that was to get canceled, my friend, Shing and I would definitely load up and bring Harper on up to that youth day, because this is what it's all about, man. Getting the youth exposed to opportunities in the outdoors, but the education factor and the hands-on stuff, you're knocking this thing out of the park. It's going to be a really good day for the kids. Hopefully the weather holds for you and you guys have a really good time.
Yeah, and the easiest way to get tickets is, just get on the internet. Go to ducks.org, and once you get on the homepage, ducks.org, Ducks Unlimited, click events. It'll say youth events. Click on that. You'll see us.
Gotcha. Cool.
Or all the flyers that are floating around on the internet, just click that QR code.
Right.
Those are probably the easiest ways. You can pay at the gate. It's only $5 a person.
Okay.
And like I said, that just pays for the basic fees and stuff of the event. So we're not trying to make any money, but so that's what it is. And Dwayne and Bill, hey guys, thank you so much for having me on, and look forward to the week after next and killing this thing.
Yeah, fantastic. Always a pleasure to have you on, buddy. You're doing great things, and we want to make sure as many people find out about what it is you have going on that we can help expose it to. So great job. Keep up the good work, and we'll have you back on before too long.
Thanks, guys. Hey, and Bill, I'm still waiting for that Grand Ron trip.
The Grand Run is coming in October, my friend.
There you go. All right. Look them up. You know where to
throw
find
that
them.
out. All right, guys.
All right, buddy. Have a good night.
So much.
Bye, Mike.
All right.
Take care.
Mikey Olson, Mike Olson Outdoors. Check out everything that's going on there at Ducks Unlimited under events. You're going to find what is happening. They got a bunch of stuff coming up, and this one coming up shortly here.
Hot dogs.
Yeah? You going down the list of all the reasons to attend the youth outdoor event.
Sounds like something for the parents, actually.
Okay, absolutely. Get your questions ready. We got a couple of them on here.
Okay.
Got a couple. Richard says, Bill saved 2 couples in their trailer next to us in Brewster. He gave them 2 salmon and then turned their Dodgers around as they were on backwards. You remember that?
I do indeed. I couldn't figure out why. So I go, well, these are upside down.
Yeah,
around.
Flip those around.
They go, we can't, they're working really funny. We can't get bit. And I said, yep, there you go.
Now, maybe that'll help your luck a little bit. So, hey, if you got some questions before we get out of here, make sure you throw them up here on the old text line here, either YouTube or Facebook. We can see it all.
Yep.
Throw your questions up here, and we will follow up with you. We're going to jump out for a quick break. We come back with Bill closing out the show right here at Fish on Northwest. Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated so that you can ice your fish properly all day. Defiance boats feature a 21 to 22 degree dead rise at the transom and a large reverse chine for incredible handling and stability offshore. Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Defiance boats feature fuel-efficient hull designs with large fuel tank capacity so that you can have maximum fuel range for making long offshore runs completely safe and affordable. All Defiance boats come standard with self-bailing decks for improved safety while at sea. Defiance Boat offers all our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Defiance Boats for all your boating needs, and let us help you get out on the water.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts with services ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. Phoenix client management models are built on understanding our clients' security needs and responding with a tailored program that is best fit for them. Phoenix provides excellent customer service through well-trained, highly motivated security professionals. Recruiting highly qualified officers is the first step in building a strong team. Currently, we are comprised of 70% prior law enforcement and military veterans. If you are prior military or law enforcement, go to www.phoenixprotectivecorps.com and apply today.
sure. Oh yeah, big fish. Yeah, buddy. Nice fish. Oh, beauty. Gorgeous fish.
Bobby's on the board.
We got a good one.
Oh yeah. Oh, oh. Oh, geez, come on.
Nice fish. Nice fish.
Welcome back, Fish Hunt Northwest. New England Bill Herzog closing out the show, my friend.
Hey.
Got a handful of questions on here, which is pretty exciting. We're going to throw those at you. Before we get there, I want to talk briefly on a little topic I stumbled across here the other day doing some reading, perusing the interwebs, if you are, you know. They talk about often on salmon recovery, separation between hatchery fish, wild fish. There's certain systems, hatchery programs, broodstock programs, they're held down by impacts on wild fish. They can only release so many hatchery fish. Typically, our hatchery fish are marked with an adipose clip fin or a pectoral, fin clip, those types of things in management practices. But this article was kind of interesting because it was letting folks know or making you aware of the fact if you're out there fishing on the Cal, well, not now because it's closed, but prior to, you're probably encountering some smolt. You always encounter a few smolt when you're out springer fishing because of the time of year release on your Chinook Smolt, correct?
Right.
And they wanted folks to be aware that you're probably going to encounter a high percentage or high rate of unclipped or unmarked Chinook Smolt, and they wanted to make everybody aware as to what was going on. So in 2020, it looks like they had a really poor return on the adult fish that year. So their collection goal is just a little over 1,300 adult fish, which produces for them 1.7 million spring Chinook eggs. Okay, 1.7 million is what their goal is to release on the Cowlitz. Well, in 2020, unfortunately, they were well below the 1,310 fish they needed. Matter of fact, by June 7th, they had 186 adult spring Chinook hatchery fish. Okay,
Right.
we're talking about the hatchery program. So, out of the 186 fish that they actually had come back, I'll correct you here. 83 of them were hatchery fish. Okay, they need 1,300. They had 83 for egg take. So moving forward, those that are in the decision-making process decided that the Kalama River strain of hatchery fish were close enough genetically that they could go ahead and utilize excess from the Kalama program to boost the numbers in the Cowlitz system. And I'm like, okay, I get that because we used to see the entire Puget Sound region with Green River stock Chinook.
Right.
Now, though, at a time here in 2022 when we're talking about basin-specific DNA, and specific gene lines of fish and no intermixing crossbreeding, hatchery is hatchery, wild is wild, native fish are native fish. Here we're able to take a look at this and go, well, if we're going to have a decent return in 2023 to 25, we need to supplement this release for the spring of 22. We don't have enough egg takes, so we're going to utilize Kalama fish in the Cowlitz program. So what they're doing is they're taking all the fish that came from their Cowlitz program, either wild fish that they retained or their hatchery fish, and they got egg take from them. They're releasing all of those as unclipped fish. In other words, they're taking previous existing hatchery marked fish in the Cowlitz system, and they are not clipping them and releasing them as wild fish.
Are they doing this to ensure that these fish are not caught?
Yes.
Until they come, till they get them back.
So they can get the numbers back to continue to hopefully grow the program. They took such a hit in 2020 that they don't have the numbers. To boost the numbers, now it's okay to take what was previously hatchery fish and just by spawning them in the hatchery, take an egg take, they're going to go ahead and release those as non-clipped. Basically, it's a hatchery fish that's not clipped, but they're going to return that as a unmarked adult because they need to boost the numbers.
If it means in the future
more fish,
I'm willing to make a year or two, I'll do that.
I get it, and I'm okay with it.
Right.
It's just though when I hear these wild fish advocates that are stomping their feet and sucking their thumbs and throwing tantrums because we can't cross-pollinate, you can't do this, you can't do that, and there's a line here we can't cross when it comes to wild fish and hatchery fish. Well, when there comes a need, and WDFW and the co-managers and the tribes and everybody on board says, look, we're in dire straits here. We have to produce as many fish as we can get, and by doing so, we're going to release all these fish unmarked. Okay, fine. It means less fish returning for recreational take and harvest for that couple of years. I get that, but we're trying to boost the numbers. The other thing is, though, those Kalama fish that they're introducing into the program, they are marking those. So every one of those Kalama fish will be a marked fish with both an adipose and a pectoral fin clip. So if you catch a spring Chinook in 23 to 25 that has an adipose and a ventral fin clip,
it'll be swimming this way.
Yeah, it's going to be on its side like a sunfish, and it's actually going to be a Kalama strain, right? But they're willing to do a couple things. They're stepping outside the boundaries a little bit simply by not marking previously marked fish, and they're dual marking previously marked fish from another tributary of the same main stem. Make sense?
Sure.
But in doing so, their goal is to release like 600,000 smolt. Okay?
Far out.
600,000 smolt. So I just, it's one of those where you read through this and you kind of go, okay, I get it. I guess in this instance it's okay because they're trying to do this, but it doesn't hold water for me when you have these people drawing a line in the sand saying we cannot mix wild fish and hatchery fish. There is absolutely no acceptance to do this, blah, blah, blah. And here it's like, no, apparently it's okay to do so when recovery is a paramount goal here. So just bringing that to light. We see a lot of things happening out there, cuts here, cuts there, can't overproduce hatchery fish in this fishery because it's going to impact the wild fish.
Well, look at what's happening in the Umpqua.
Oh, well, yeah.
Right now.
The summer steelhead?
The same thing. They're cutting those out.
That's a joke.
Historically, these rivers could take all these smolts.
Right.
Okay? Historically, the numbers were way higher than the wild and hatchery fish together.
Right.
Nature can handle it.
Sure.
So,
so those that push back on that, I agree with you, and for whatever reason, we're down however many, hundreds of millions of Chinook releases here in our greater West Side region. But I agree with you in that regard. Is like the rivers used to be teeming with fish.
Sure.
The pushback is from those that say, well, we don't have the habitat to support it now with all the, production on the landscape and the sprawl.
That depends on which river system you're on.
It does.
Like the Cowlitz has been compromised to hell.
Sure.
Okay, so let it rip.
It's a hatchery river.
Sure.
It's a put and take fishery.
Sure.
I've advocated for that since we started recognizing these gene bake fisheries, and this will be a wild river exclusive, no hatchery fish, and blah, and go down the line, right? Yes, here out in the OP, this makes sense. Yes, this river, yes, I agree with you. This one here, look. The height of its time, the Cowlitz, 80s and 90s and early 2000s, that was a 365 days a year, hundreds of guides in the state making their living year-round on that river.
Yeah.
Many persons in this state and outside of this state were introduced to their first steelhead, their first Chinook, their first coho on the Cowlitz River.
Sure.
Many people had their first drift boat trip, jet boat trip on the Cowlitz River. Learn to side drift, learn to bank fit, whatever.
I caught my first spring Chinook on the Cowlitz.
Okay, so it is a put and take fishery. Bringing back wild fish on that river is a joke.
Right.
I get it. There's a few tributaries, but it's been compromised because of the dams.
When they built Mayfield and they built the other
It's
dams
all over.
on there, that was, you see the old pictures from like the 20s and the 30s, guys, of the Sispus River and these huge, beautiful steelhead. Well, guess what? In early 1970s, that was cut off and they're gone.
The only reason we have a coho opportunity on that river is because they trap the coho smolt and they truck them downriver and release them. Those coho can't get around the dam. They have a trapping facility and they truck them downriver.
They haven't found out a fish that can yet.
Right. So, yeah. So the whole thing is man-made. It's all created as far as the fisheries that are supported there. And that thing should have never been removed from the heyday of production that we were subjected to because it was fantastic.
Yeah.
You had fish in that river year-round. You had opportunities, winter run, spring steelhead, spring Chinook, moving in through summer run, steelhead was phenomenal.
Oh, boy.
Into your fall fisheries, lights out, then your winter steelhead, and here we go again. And it was year-round. And to think that we have to cut back on millions upon millions of smolt in all facets of different fish simply to bring back the wild stock is an absolute joke.
In there, it makes no sense, and the biologists should know this. And I got a feeling they do. I really don't know who's pushing whose buttons on this one, but the Cowlitz has been compromised for 50 years.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you can't undo that.
No.
And no amount of time. We don't have enough time on this planet to make that happen.
No, you don't.
It's a put and take fishery, just like this lake in my backyard.
Yeah, and the genetics that you want to come back are long gone.
100%.
Anything else you'd be putting in there, you're bringing back from another river system, which never has worked.
Hello.
By the way, it never works.
Again, to my point is we're going to now bring Kalama strain, which is a close genetic cousin, into the Cowlitz and introduce them.
What's the key word? Close.
Yeah. Close. Because they have to.
Right.
Right? It's okay. It's acceptable now. Well, you know what's acceptable? Plant the crap out of that river.
Just
get it back to the millions of smolt that we used to release in that sucker and make it happen.
1.2 million hatchery winter run steelhead.
And summer.
And summer run was almost 1 million.
Yeah, 800,000 historically, right? 890,000 and over 1 million for winter run. And then we'd have our Chinook releases that were just a couple mil. I mean,
boom.
Absolute mind blow. And the numbers of fish coming back. That summer run fishery used to be so much fun. Oh, yeah. So, anyway, just some things going on with your fisheries management as it pertains to smolt releases, spring Chinook, Kalama, Cowlitz, how close they're truly related, and decisions being made to try and bolster these fish runs. I mean, you know, this is a type of management that they need to do. They need to keep an eye on the direction this stuff is going and supplement where they need to. I mean, it's just, there's no other way around it. So
I'll tell you the best one that I know of. The summer run program on the Bogachiel River in the Klawa.
Yeah.
They only put 30,000 smolts in the Klawa, okay? Most of the wild fish go up into the park. They go past the mouth of the Klawa, okay? So, and by that very small plant, it's almost no impact on the wild smolts.
Right.
And they're released at a time where they're just flushed right out of the system. They don't spend much time there. And because it's such a small plant, those fish don't eat much while they're heading out.
Yeah.
And so it's the best of both worlds. You get 5-6 months of fishing on these wonderful hatchery steelhead that are coming back, and you're not impacting the wild fish at all.
Yeah.
Because it's a totally opposite thing in the wintertime anyway. That's the ideal. You know, okay, you can still have this wonderful wild run. If you're going to plant in certain rivers, keep them small, augment it, keep a fishery going. That's the important part. We have to have fish to fish for. And if you're doing that, great. If not, like the Cowlitz, when it's been compromised, let it rip.
Dump it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a disservice and it's unjustified what they've done to the Umpqua, the summer run steelhead program.
Oh my God.
To just totally shut it off based on a few emotional persons on the commission down there. Look, the science provided was solid. It proved the fact that the fish do not have any impact on wild concerns, and there was no justification for it. ODF&W staff and the fisheries biologists that supported the data and the science that they brought to the table was sound, and the fact that you had a commission just blow that all off, and you had a couple of emotional persons on that commission that held their ground to say, nope, we're shutting this thing down, no ifs, ands, or buts, and it was a done deal. And to have that kind of power, I mean, we've experienced it here within our Washington State Fish and Wildlife Commission relative to the bear hunt and recent decisions and conversations about the Blues Mountains, and I could go on. I'm just waiting for the other foot to drop on some of these fisheries from the commission to see what direction they're going to steer some of this stuff. Very concerning. So if you think, and we're not going to go down the political road tonight, but if you think these elections don't matter and who sits in the governor's seat and who appoints these persons to our Fish and Wildlife Commissions, you better think again, because it's having a huge impact here in the Northwest, both Washington, Oregon, and California, in some of the things that's happening to our fishing and hunting. Guaranteed.
If they look at only the economic impact alone.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the emotional base of all the, so we got 11% card-carrying members of fishing licenses in the state of Washington, right? That leaves 89% of folks that don't fish. So they're going to listen to the majority. And if the majority is like, no, they don't need to be killing those fish in that particular river, and no, they don't need to do this and do that harm to the wilderness.
They're going to go, okay.
Okay, that's okay.
Sure.
So there you go. Okay, getting on with it, Bill. We got a few questions for you as we wind down the show. Scott Hensley says, hey, how's the kokanee fishing on the home lake these days?
On the home lake? I actually seen a couple pictures.
Yeah, me too.
Of some really nice kokanee, and it is actually it should be getting going right about now, about middle of the month. All I can say is 17 feet at the racetrack.
17 feet at the racetrack.
17
Did I show
feet
you
at
that
the
picture on my phone last week when you were here? That cooler full of big, fatty, 15, 16-inch kokanee from a day that Jordan, Sherry, and I had. it was, you know, stuff comes up in your memories.
Yeah,
Check this out. A full-on cooler stuffed full of them big fatties. That's back in the day we were fishing the drift boat.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? Getting those big...
2013, 2014, by the way.
It was 8 years ago. Yep. So, and you know what the date was? May 1st.
Wow.
May 1st, 3 limits of big fatties on that home lake. So it just goes to show you weather conditions, colder temps. They had a warm year that year. I recall we had, you know, April was actually pretty darn warm.
And we all know about what happened this April.
Oh yeah, April. Yeah. So there you go. It weather does have an impact.
Yes, sir.
And we get a year where it warms up relatively early in April. Man, that May fishery can take off pretty good. So, Shane V is asking, does Bill cast with 1 or 2 hands on a spinning reel?
2. Done it since I was a little kid. I cannot cast with 1 hand. I've tried it.
No.
And when I let go, it goes straight up.
Yeah, perfect.
Or it goes flop right into the ground.
Yep.
Not going to work. So it cost me a couple of feet of distance, but I've always done this my whole life.
Yep.
And it ain't going to change now, I hate to tell you.
100%. Yep. Bill, what is your recommendation for kokanee lures behind the Dodger?
There's only one.
Is there any even a question?
Sing it with me. R-A-S-T-I-C-L-E.
The Rasticle.
Rasticle, absolutely.
You know, I still have that old.
There's many versions of it.
Yeah.
But it is tough to beat that. And we used the larger version for sockeye, which is just a big C-run version of a kokanee.
Lights out. Yep.
And I've yet to find anything that works as well all around as that. Yes.
Yep. And there's variations, like you said. I'll make them pull that little LP squid over them.
Shane do his little deal on those. Everybody has a little tweak to it, you know. But there's the basic. There's the base. Stick to that. And 13 and a half inches behind the Dodger.
Yep. Need broodstock back on steelhead streams. Yes, of course we do, Mark. 100%. Your question, Mark, yes, that lake may be located in that general direction. And Bill, I've seen you holding a Skagit Spring Chinook from back in the day. We've got a season going up here now. How would you target them? Can't handle sitting on the anchor.
Okay, well, it'd be awful hard to do. Where we can fish in the upper river above the Sauk, that water runs big and clear.
Yeah.
Very difficult conditions to fish in. Your best bet, believe it or not, is drift fishing. You know, big piece of lead, get down in that water, walk it down, big spinning globe, big gob of Dwayne's eggs on the
Slow
back
it down.
of that.
Let it just drag the bottom,
I would, honest to God, that's the way I would fish it. If not, we have, you know, big mag lips now. The big mag lip, you know, one of the largest
5.0?
Yeah, run those.
Yeah.
They run very well in fast water and they get deep.
In unstable water.
Right.
And you can have a nice current seam and then maybe a little bit of a kick out boil, and you know, you get those mag lips down in there, and amongst all other plugs running side by side, that mag lip's going to hold true in that steady current, and it's going to be the best bang for the buck in that kind of offsetting current. Other plugs don't like to find a rhythm in that thing, but for some reason that wide bill on those mag lips, it's able to dish that out and keep that plug working even in that unstable water. It's pretty impressive.
There's very little water up there where the old bobber and egg works well.
Yeah.
It's the water's too big, too deep, too fast. You got to get it down and get on the deck, and I would drift fish. The ones that I've caught up there.
That's a great point.
Caught drift fish.
Who doesn't want to feel that bite of a spring Chinook?
Everybody does.
Oh my God. For all you out there that did not grow up drift fishing and only know how to subject eggs to Chinook under a bobber.
You can keep it slow and walk it right down and just give it right to them. That's the way to do it up there.
That's something else.
That's a hard place to fish up there.
Yeah. I may have to revert back to a little bit of drift fishing this fall when I know the river's going to be stuffed with Chinook and coho, and I can just present those eggs on those nice soft drifts, and just that would just feel really good to get back to. Back in the day, it's all we had. So right on. Well, hey, appreciate everybody signing on here tonight. Lots of great questions, a lot of good interaction from you all. Appreciate you following. It is what we do each and every week here at Fish Hunt Northwest. Please take our content, push it out there, help us grow our page both on YouTube and our Facebook content. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Got questions on the Kids Fishing Derby? Be sure to hit us up here on Facebook or YouTube, or go to our webpage, email us from there. Make sure you list your kids' names, ages, and shirt size. Every kid gets a free t-shirt. It's going to be a great opportunity.
And if you have any questions off the air later on, throw them on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
I'll answer them then. If you have questions for me, I
Sure.
got 24/7 to answer.
You're
questions.
heading up to the Sea-Tuck, but you are still. I can still get a hold of you.
Yes, you know my phone number, and yes, you do.
And they got connectivity up there and electricity this year, I hear. So
and flushing toilets.
And flushing toilets, which is good for everybody else that's in the cabin with you. So perfect. Hey, buddy, I always appreciate you making the drive.
Yeah, I'm a phone call away, baby. Anytime you need me, I'll just pop a little short distance right down here.
Yes.
But I'm going to be busy for a while. I'm going to be fishing the Yakima for spring Chinook. Did I say that right? I did.
Yes, he did.
I'm so excited.
He's so excited.
Yeah.
See, he actually comes over here and learns things. That is the great part about the General.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, buddy. Good to see you. Have a safe trip.
I will.
Talk to you in a couple weeks. Want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Had a lot of fun. And we'll be back here next week. Far as I know, Tommy Donlin is supposed to join me back in studio here live, 6 p.m. Thursday night. Make sure you tune in and catch up on what he's been up to. It's going to be a great show. It'll be good to have Tommy back in studio. So have a great week. Get out there, go bonk some fish, and enjoy. Next week.